A 27-year-old final year mass communication student has been sentenced to a combined 35 years in prison by a children, sexual and gender-based violence court in Anambra State after being convicted of raping and sexually abusing a 10-year-old girl. The case has shocked the community because the victim was allegedly lured to the defendant's home under the guise of participating in a comedy skit. But the court's decision has not delivered a strong message about the protection of children and the consequences of sexual violence against minors. The question is, how did a supposed comedy skit turn into a criminal case that has now ended with a 35-year sentence and a warrant for the defendant's arrest? The case was heard at the High Court of Awka in Anambra State before Justice Peace Oti. The defendant, identified as Wisdom Edem, was prosecuted in charge number A/3C/2024, titled The State vs. Wisdom Edem. He faced 3 separate charges. The first was rape under Section 34 sub 2 of the Child Rights Law of Anambra State 2004. The second involves sexual abuse and exploitation under Section 35 sub 2 of the same law. The third charge concerned the infliction of physical injury under Section 4 sub 1 of the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law of Anambra State 2017. After considering the evidence presented during the trial, Justice Oti found Edem guilty on all 3 counts. The prosecution, led by Principal State Counsel of the Anambra State Ministry of Justice, Chinelo Akura, called 6 witnesses and presented several pieces of evidence before the court. Among the evidence were the defendant's confessional statement and a medical report relating to the victim. According to the prosecution's case, the 10-year-old girl has previously participated in skits with Edem and other people. That previous experience allegedly made her comfortable enough to accept an invitation to his home for another comedy skit. She reportedly went there with her younger sister. The court heard that after the girl's arrival, Edem allegedly sent the younger sister away to get a change of clothes for the victim. He then allegedly instructed the 10-year-old girl to enter his room, telling her that other people were waiting inside. According to the prosecution, when the girl entered the room, she found herself alone. The court heard that Edem allegedly locked the door and sexually assaulted her. The prosecution said the child began bleeding following the assault. A medical doctor who examined the girl on the same day reportedly testified before the court and confirmed the injuries. The evidence presented in the court became central to the prosecution's case. Edem denied the allegations during his defense, but the court rejected his explanation. According to the report of the proceedings, the defendant attempted to argue that the child had seduced him. He reportedly claimed that the girl removed his clothes, inserted his penis into her vagina, and screamed. He also allegedly claimed that she told him she was 14 years old and had a boyfriend. The court rejected that defense. Justice Oti emphasized a crucial legal principle. A child of that age cannot legally consent to sexual activity. The court therefore found that the defendant could not rely on an allegation that the child consented or initiated the encounter. The judge described the act as premeditated and carefully planned, taking into account the circumstances presented by the prosecution. The court also noted that the victim's account was supported by other evidence presented during the trial. The prosecution said the defendant's own confessional statement corroborated parts of the child's testimony, including the fact that she had arrived at his home with her younger sister. Other prosecution witnesses also provided evidence. They included a police officer and a vigilante member involved in the investigation and arrest of the defendant. Together, the evidence convinced the court that the prosecution had established its case beyond reasonable doubt. But there was another dramatic development on the day judgment was delivered. The defendant, who had been granted bail during the trial, was not present in court when Justice Oti delivered the judgment. The judge, therefore, proceeded with the judgment in his absence in accordance with the Administration of Criminal Justice Law of Anambra State. The court immediately issued a bench warrant for his arrest. Authorities were also ordered to declare him wanted and circulate his photographs to the police and on the internet to facilitate his arrest. The sentence handed down by the court was 25 years imprisonment for rape, 5 years for sexual abuse, and another 5 years for inflicting physical injury. That amounts to a total of 35 years in prison. The court also ordered the defendant to pay a fine of 200,000 naira as compensation to the victim for the physical injury inflicted on her. In another significant directive, the judge ordered the defendant's university not to issue him a certificate until he completes his prison sentence. The decision sends a strong message about the seriousness with which the justice system views sexual offenses involving children. It also highlights the vulnerability of minors who may trust adults because of previous relationships, activities, or opportunities presented to them. The case demonstrates why parents and guardians are being urged to exercise caution when children are invited to private locations, even when the invitation appears connected to entertainment, education, or other seemingly harmless activities. A comedy skit may appear innocent on the surface, but the court found that, in this case, it was allegedly used as the means of gaining access to a child. The judgment also reinforces the principle that children must be protected from sexual exploitation and abuse, regardless of the circumstances surrounding an alleged offense. The Anambra State Ministry of Justice has described the conviction as another indication of the state's commitment to confronting sexual and gender-based violence. The Principal State Counsel and representatives of the International Federation of Women Lawyers, FIDA, were also commended for their roles in securing the conviction. Yet one issue remains unresolved. The defendant is reportedly not yet in custody. The bench warrant now places the responsibility on law enforcement authorities to locate and arrest him so that sentence can be enforced. For the 10-year-old victim, the legal victory is only one part of the story. She will also require continued protection, medical attention, and emotional support as she recovers from the alleged abuse. This case is therefore not only about punishment. It is about accountability, child protection, and ensuring that vulnerable children have systems capable of responding when their safety is threatened. The court has delivered its judgment. The next major question is whether authorities will quickly apprehend the convicted man and ensure that the sentence is carried out. What do you think about the court's decision to sentence the final year student to 35 years in prison? Share your thoughts in the comment section. If you found this report informative, like this video, subscribe to the channel for more breaking news and in-depth analysis from Nigeria. I am Cassie Tony. Many thanks for watching.